Hello and welcome to livealittlehigher.com. Today we continue learning about the biggest mitzvah, which is to love your fellow as yourself, as we're coming into Rosh Hashanah. And we've just experienced a horrible year of suffering, and we learned the importance of unity, of being together and united, and seeing how the pain of someone else can become such a great pain for us. People that we don't even know, and we are all crying for them in a way like if it's our children. So today we're gonna talk about two different views of this mitzvah of love your fellow like yourself. And it says that Rashi quotes Rabbi Akiva that this commandment is the primary rule of the Torah. The sages understand this commandment broadly. It must be applied even to a heinous criminal who was put to death, a very rarely imposed penalty. The court is required to execute him as painless as possible. So in the times of the temple, where there was actually the death penalty, today in Israel there's no such thing as the death penalty, but in the times of the temple, there were certain cases where a person was administered stoning or lashes or whatever, or hanging. The Sanhedrin used to do it painlessly, like they wouldn't make a person suffer when he was dying. They would do it the fastest way possible so a person wouldn't suffer more than he had to. The same is said about husband and wife in Kiddushim. It says that they should avoid interactions that could lead one to feel abhorrence for the other, because this would be a violation of the commandment to love fellow Jews. Like if a couple has a misunderstanding about something, one is, let's say one is liberal, the other one is Republican. In these households today, there can be a lot of fighting. Here, the Torah is telling us, don't go there. Like everybody has their views, just let it be. Don't discuss politics. Let it be, because it could bring the couple to really hate each other. And the verse concludes, "I am Hashem," as if to say, I created all of you. So by loving them, you are demonstrating your love for your Creator. So according to the Rambam, Rabbi Moshe ben Maimon, in his commentary, he said it's literal, that you have to love your fellow like yourself. It's literal. He says, Hashem commands us to love others as much as we love ourselves. In the familiar analogy, if someone is holding a knife with his right hand and he cuts his left hand, obviously the left hand is not going to grab the knife, and he's not going to cut the right hand, because they're both part of the same body and it hurts. So you're not going to do it. And so too, all Jews are part of the same Adam. As I said in the last class, we're part of the same body and should love each other equally. And what we learn from this is that you should not do to other people what is painful. If you know that someone, if you tell someone your dress is not so pretty, and you know this person is gonna, their self-esteem is not such a strong self-esteem, and they're gonna be very discouraged, or they're gonna feel very inadequate, or they're gonna feel very low because you made such a commentary, then don't say it, because why would you put a person to feel bad? You don't like anybody to make you feel bad. The same way, don't do to other people what would make them feel bad. So we are also likened to a group of people on a boat, and a passenger would not be permitted to drill a hole under his seat, because he paid for his ticket, and we're all in the same boat. If he drills a hole under his seat, we're all gonna go down. The boat is gonna go under the water. So the action of a person can impact everybody. And in the same way, we should recognize that we and our fellow Jews are as much part of a single unit, that we should love every Jew. Jew as much as our right hand loves our left hand. Then comes another point of view, and this point of view comes from the Ramban. So first was the Rambam, now is the Ramban, who is Moshe ben Nachman. He was known as Nachmanides. And he disagrees, and he contends that the verse cannot be taken literally, for it is impossible for someone to love everyone as much as he loves himself, and the Torah does not command the impossible. Furthermore, he says, in the case where two people are in a desert, and one person has a bottle of water, he is not obliged to give his water or even share his water with the other person so he can survive. Rabbi Akiva rules that self-preservation comes first, and the one in possession of the water should not share it. Your life has priority. Like, for example, if you share it, okay, you're gonna die, both of you, but less rapidly. So he says, don't share it. You have your water, drink your water, preserve your life. And the same Rabbi Akiva, who loves this commandment, has the primary principle of Judaism, because it comes from him, that he says to love your fellow as yourself, rules that one's own well-being takes precedent over his friend. What then does the Torah require? The Ramban explains that the commandment is indeed a challenge to human nature, but it is one that can be fulfilled. It is normal for a person to want to be superior to other people. This is human nature. Why would people make fun of someone else? Because he wants to feel that he's better than the other person. This is the nature of a human being. He will say things so he will seem superior than another person. So what it's telling us here, what he's saying, is that we have to really want for the other person what we want for ourselves. I would like him to be successful, but I want to be more successful. I want him to be recognized as a Talmid Hacham, but I want to be a better Talmid Hacham. I want him to have a nice house, but I want to have a nicer house. This is the nature of a human being. And the Torah responds, no, you should wish the same success for your neighbor as you wish for yourself. If you are successful, you should wish that the other person be successful too. If you have a beautiful home, you should want that your friend has a beautiful home too. If your friend is getting married, you should be happy that that friend is getting married. And you should help him attain it. In other words, whatever you wish for yourself, you should wish for every Jew. And his good fortune will not impinge on yours. But as Rabbi Akiva rules, in a situation whether it is you or him, he is competing with you and only one of you can prevail. As in the case of the two people in the desert with only one jug of water, you are required to give priority to yourself. So Rambam supports this interpretation from the wording of the commandment. If it means that one should literally love his fellow Jew, the Torah would have said, Ve'ahavta et raecha, which is how the Torah expresses the commandment to love Hashem. That would mean a love that is emotional and absolute. Instead, the Torah says, Le'arecha, to your fellow Jew. The prefix to implies giving him something tangible, rather than a personal emotional feeling of love. So this supports Ramban's interpretation that we are commanded to actively advance and foster the well-being of other people, just as we do it with ourselves. And even according to Ramban's interpretation, the mitzvah is not easy. It is a difficult challenge, but it can be done. And we've seen very righteous people in the Jewish world who have a Rolodex of all their contacts for business, and someone comes for guidance, they're going to build a business, and they come for guidance, and they open up their Rolodex, and they give them all the telephones and all the contacts of people that can help them. Because why? Because a person that is a Bal Bitachon is a person that has Bitachon, that trusts in Hashem. He knows that whatever he's going to earn is not in the hands of another person, it's in the hands of Hashem. It's decreed in Rosh Hashanah. So if I have a business and I have a thriving business and someone comes for help, if I help them open up a business, it's not going to diminish my business if it's decreed from heaven that I should be successful. It is not in my hands. So they believe that their livelihood is in the hands of Hashem. And what was decreed for me on Rosh Hashanah will come to me, even if I help someone else be successful. His success will not come at my expense, so why shouldn't I earn the mitzvah of helping him? So I want to wish you Hesiva, Hatima Tova. You should be inscribed and sealed in the book of good life, of abundant parnasah, good health. We should have a beautiful year of peace and love in the land of Israel and amongst us. When we live our lives in this way, then the way that we treat others, Hashem will treat us too in the same beautiful way. So remember, live a little higher. Thank you.